in the first preseason game against Ottawa. Nothing new in the preseason for 89.
Help is on the way, dear!
Mrs. Doubtfire!
Help is on the way!
Tonight, it's the best one yet, right? Yeah, there's a lot of great things to say about the game tonight between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you're a Montreal fan, wasn't such a great night for the Leafs. And you know what? I say Montreal Canadian fan, but how about Laval fans? They're building something there. Tonight was proof of that. Yeah, I feel like secondhand proud of what they put up tonight. Let's talk about it.
Well, let's say the name of one of our teammates on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, Slav.
First of all, there's a lot to this game, and there's a lot that happened after this game. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it all tonight. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, but I think that a lot of this deserves more attention. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, because I'm going to follow up on this. And I'm just going to let you know the Montreal Canadiens have made some decisions about the prospects in their system. And the big one is Joshua Roy has been sent back to Laval. But that's not this game. This game we're talking about tonight, the Montreal Canadiens facing off against the Toronto Maple Leafs for the second time in preseason. And this time things went way differently, which is strange because last time it was the first 2 lines of the Montreal Canadiens versus the Toronto Marlies. This is like the shoe is on the other foot, and it doesn't fit on that foot either. So if you're new here, we start the way we always start, avec la formation de départ. Tonight's starting lineup. Nos attaquants are forwards: Duc, Newhook, Kapanen, Blais, Veleno, Beck, Farrell, Elzile, Thorpe, Dauphin, Condota, Kidney. Nos défenseurs are defensemen: Xhekaj, Carrier, Struble, Hutson, Delgaizo, Engstrom, and nos gardiens de but are goalies Kahkonen and Fowler. So yeah, a pretty gritty but AHL heavy lineup. You'll come to find out that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's get right into it. They face off. There's a huge, and I mean like obnoxiously gigantic Bet365 ad. Is this new? I haven't been watching on Sportsnet. They're not done with the ads. We'll talk about that in the second period. But Montreal comes out hot. They're testing Stolars. Kapanen puts one in front for Bolduc. And already I'm excited to see what these guys can do tonight. And then even further down the lineup, Kidney, Condota, Dauphin, Engstrom, all chipping in here. I really liked this line tonight. I think what worked so well for them was they were forechecking hard. They were back-checking hard. Trust the forecheck, trust the back-check. They stop and do a segment about Arber Xhekaj. He got the A tonight. Here's a clip from the social media page. Really cool. I think this speaks to, Arber's tenure, such a young team, and Arber's been around for a while. And we don't get to see it, but I know that he is a heartbeat player. He means a lot to the other players on the team. He's a fan favorite, but I think he's also a team favorite, Still in the first period, this is where Max Domi interferes with Lane Hutson. Struble does come in to support him. I would have liked a little bit more, but this is preseason. How much passion are we going to devote to Max Domi? Where's Max Domi going to land in the Leafs lineup, by the way? Are they really thinking about putting him on the first line? Could we see a Maple Leafs collapse in the next season, the next 2 seasons? So immediately on the 4-on-4, Hutson is making Toronto hurt. First shift, he is game-changing. Second shift, he is deciding exactly what happens. And I think by the third shift on the 4-on-4, Montreal is going to make it 1-0. And guess what?
Here's Bolduc moving in. Stolars to stop. A rebound left in front. And a chance here. Newhook score.
It's Alex Newhook, and we have new Alex Newhook eyebrow growing technology in 2025, 2026. I've taken some of the money that my members, this is a plug for membership, by the way. If you want to become a member, we can do cool things like grow Alex Newhook's eyebrows larger every time he gets a goal. It's a tradition that we have here. But this is a great goal. Carrier makes just such a patient pass to Newhook after Bolduc storms the net and puts a shot on net. So 1-0, and I'm going to let you know right away, spoilers, this is all the momentum they needed. It really felt like after this, Montreal just, had the momentum tilted for them. But Toronto, tries to do a couple of things, but yeah, I think Max Domi was able to tilt the game in Montreal's favor here. We see Kapanen put one off the pipes, but then Dauphin gets a goalie interference call. I feel a little bit like this is scary for Toronto because Stolarz gets contact on his helmet here, and we know that Stolarz, his brain must just bounce around in there like crazy. That's what took him out of the Florida Panthers series. I also want to say here that the commentators, I realize this is Sportsnet and they're going to be biased towards Toronto, but oh my gosh, they're making some stupid comments. Back on the interference call with Hutson and Domi, initially he says something like, this was good on, Domi did well here or something like that.
Domi did a good job. His first game is after dealing with an injury here. He tried to be aggressive early on.
So that's definitely, something you can say out loud. But getting back to the penalty on Dauphin, Montreal kills that penalty. They looked excellent. Newhook is looking great on the PK. Xhekaj is looking great. Beck, Engstrom, they all look good this game. And now the first period ends. Start the second period. Look here at Carrier and Xhekaj totally shutting down a push by Toronto. And then we see Xhekaj and Joshua beginning a beautiful relationship, I think. I think we'll see lots from them this season when they play. And Arber got Joshua angry enough to take a penalty here. So Montreal is going on a power play, and guess what?
Through 48. Lay down low, a centering pass. Farrell missed it, but there's the goal.
Riley Kidney makes it 2-0. Hutson, playmaking genius, setting up several opportunities here before a long scramble in front of the net. Kidney knocks it in, and Montreal's off to a 2-goal lead, but it doesn't last very long.
Robertson taken down by Xhekaj. Comes out in front. Tavares scores. Power play.
John Tavares makes it 2-1, cuts the lead in half. This is a weird one. So Xhekaj took out Robertson. It was a collision with their skates. Robertson went down. No penalty was called. If there would have been a penalty, he probably wouldn't have gotten this goal, certainly. But it kind of looks like Xhekaj picks up the puck and then he dishes it in front to Tavares. But maybe Nylander got pushed Xhekaj's stick? It's hard to tell. Might have been a panic move by Xhekaj as well. Next, we see Toronto trying to play with 6 players, and they got away with it for a while before the referees realized. So Montreal going back to the power play, and again,
Is able to work it in. It'll come back to Hutson. He'll walk it, scores. Lane Hutson, power.
Lane Hutson makes it 3-1. He either thought about passing it or this was just a fake that he wanted to pull off, and it worked well. He puts it long on Stolarz. Stolarz was way behind this one. He had no chance. So that's going to be the end of the second period. 3-1 Montreal. And I forgot about this clip in the second period. A really good defensive clip. We see Hutson and Newhook working well together. They shut down a push by, I think, Nyes and Nylander. Offensively tonight, they look great. Defensively, they look great. I can't say enough. But let's get to the third period. Puck drops. Stolarz is out. Kahkonen stays in. He's been looking good this game. However, like I said earlier, it's Sportsnet, so they weren't like blowing their minds every time Kahkonen made a great save, but he made a couple. Owen Beck is going to go on a breakaway against the young goalie Atiyamov, but Atiyamov was patient with it. Great attempt by Beck. I'd like to see him do this more often. I'd like to see him more selfish. He needs to get lucky more often because he's getting these opportunities. He's just not unable to put it in. But his friend, Sean Farrell, will put one in and make it 4-1 for Montreal. Check it out.
To Robertson, broken up, but here's Belzile in. Now it's Belzile in front, scores.
Thorpe, Belzile were in on this one. This was a true Laval Rocket goal. Behind the play, what you don't see is just great work back checking and then forechecking. Yeah, this one must have felt good for these guys.
Feeds Engstrom across to Struble. His shot blocked by Pezzetta. Then
Oh man, an official gets struck in the face. It looks bad. He's bleeding on the ice. Takes a little while to get up, but you know what? He came back and he finished the game. That's hockey, baby, even if you're an official. Time is winding down. If Toronto wants to make this interesting, they have to do something quick, and they do.
defender. Leafs with the fewest goals from their blue line. The regular season.
Nylander makes it 4-2. The puck gets past Carrier. I think he's tied up by Nyes here. Riley puts it in front. Delgaizo's up there with Tavares and Nylander, but Delgaizo flops. Like, picked a bad time to lay on the ice. So Kahkonen is all alone. They get a few bangs at it, and yeah, 4-2. Xhekaj is continuing to give Dakota Joshua a hard time. And with Toronto pulled their goaltender, extra man on, the Canadiens have to fight for I think 3 minutes, and they do an excellent job. A couple of opportunities at an empty net. They weren't able to pull it off. So there's a little bit of sweat here, but just an excellent effort by the team defensively. They killed it. Everyone put in the work. I really liked the grit by Engstrom, Beck, Xhekaj, Carrier, Newhook. They were all great. Like, it was just a fantastic game. I almost can't say enough, which is why I probably want to do a follow-up video tomorrow and talk about the movement. There was a lot of prospects set down to Laval, including Joshua Roy and Jacob Fowler. So we didn't get to see very much of Fowler in the preseason. There was that first game where he came in to clean it up, and he did a very good job. And then the game before this, where he did not perform great, although he didn't have a lot of help either. Anyway, I gotta get to bed. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it. Kind of weird day today. I hope tomorrow's like a little bit more relaxing. Did a lot today. It's a good day. I got something to run by you. I'm not going to do it in this video, but weird question for y'all. Again, thank you so much. You know what to do. Like the video. It helps me out with, I don't know, search results probably. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you as part of this community. And as always, I will see you down in the comments.